Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the round 13 edition of the Football Town Show. And as troubles heat up at Mickleham, they'll look to try and get a rare 3 points against Adam Alasevich's Brimbank, who are on fire. And then in the next game, Ali Redzepovic, who is high-flying with Metropolitan, will go up against Charbon Rajab's FC Carlton. Milton Sakos's Vic Vibes will be desperate for 3 points today as they go up against Mark Burton and Fitzroy FC. Fitzroy are depleted without Fernando De Moraes and Cardenas. Ashburton's goalkeeping stalwart Con Macris gets his chance in goals today as he looks to keep his side's title hopes alive against Ruth Roslin CF Brunswick. There's massive news in the transfer window as Lucas Krull and Lorenzo De Paris transfer over to Pascoe Vale. Certainly not good news for their opponents in Moreland, who are sitting in relegation zone. And then Hume FC, who are desperate to claim their first piece of silverware, will have to go up against bottom placed FC Essendon. Looking at the results of round 12 last week, Mickleham went down severely to the Vipers, as did Pascoe Vale in a shock result to Brimbank. CF Brunswick in the match of the round got over Metropolitan, while there were also wins for Hume, Ashburton, while Carlton and Moreland were forced to share the points. The first game to kick us off in round 13 was Brimbank and Mickleham. The last time these two teams met, it was a thrilling 5-all draw. But Mickleham were determined to get out of the relegation zone this time, and they needed the win. Lachlan Campbell scoring an absolute ripper. But whatever he could do, Adam Alasevic, the league's top goal scorer, could do better, equalising just minutes later. In the next one of play, Davo Kusturic, the reliable defender for Mickleham, streamed forward from a corner and scored unopposed to put Mickleham back in front yet again. But a parried shot from Fikret Kausevic's strike fell straight to Ivan Zilic, who equalised at 2-2. Brimbank were missing key defender Adis Sehic, and it showed all the more as the half grew older, Iggy Filipovic bagging Mickleham's third and putting them in the lead yet again. Mickleham were also suffering issues in defence. Ivan Zilic left one-on-one with the keeper, equalising for the third time in the game. Although Mickleham's keeper, Adam Chesterton, was struggling in goals, his outfield players weren't, causing a lot of havoc for the Brimbank defence. Kazimaj Brewery should have put his side in front, but luckily Vlado Zoric made no mistake from close range. Going into the second half, one would feel that there was a lot more goals in store, and Ivan Zilic got Brimbank off to the start they were after, equalising yet again. But directly from the resulting kickoff, Iggy Filipovic scored possibly the goal of the week from halfway. The goal-for-goal trend was broken by Filipovic. Moments later, he scored his second in a matter of minutes. Just as Mickleham seemed to pull away from Brimbank, Ivan Zilic scored his fourth of the game, taking complete control. And then his fifth moments later, you could see the desire and frustration in the veteran's face as he almost single-handedly kept his side in the game. It just seemed that everything was working out for Mickleham today. Lachlan Campbell getting his second for wicked deflection off Eric Humray. Desperate to extend Mickleham's lead, Lockie Campbell and Aaron Mazinovic combined for Mickleham's eighth of the game, and with less than 5 minutes remaining, it looked like they were home and hosed. That was until Adam Alasevic pulled a goal back with less than 5 minutes remaining, and then the unbelievable happened. Ivan Zilic scored his sixth of the game and equalised yet again. There was hardly any time left on the clock. The Mickleham boys were left absolutely stunned. Adam Alasevic, in a late twist of drama, could have won the game for Brimbank, but his penalty was saved by Chesterton.
Yeah, I am disappointed, but at the end I have to be lucky that we have the at least point, because, I don't know, 2 minutes to go, we're losing 8-6. Maybe score 2 goals with a little bit of luck, maybe score the last penalty, but you can't ask for more. All up, I'm happy with the point, because we didn't play well.
The next game on the card saw FC Carlton pitted against Metropolitan FC. This one was going to be a cracker as both sides wanted to establish their positions on the ladder, no more so than Metropolitan, who were aiming to keep Pascoe Vale at bay at the top. And they got off to a flying start, Ali Redzepovic scoring the first goal of the game. That was until Stephen Gustus' deflected strike off Tomo Grigic equalised. Moments later, Ali Redzepovic should have had his second of the game. Luckily for Carlton, the ball deflected off both posts. Carlton also had a clear-cut chance of their own. Charbon Rajab set up Paul Montagna for an open goal, one of the worst misses of the season. That'll go down in the bloopers reel for sure. Ali Redzepovic, after his early miss, made no mistake. Tomo Grigic's delightful through ball allowed the Little Emperor to slot into an empty net for his second of the game. And then an absolute screamer from Tomo Grigic on the sideline made sure Metropolitan were in a comfortable 3-goal lead. It just didn't seem it was going to be Carlton's day today. Johnny Nico's strike from distance hitting the inside of the post. And then it went from bad to worse as Dimi Vathoukas scored from a ridiculous angle that was at keeper Jose Garcia's expense. down 4-1 at half-time. One couldn't help that the loss of Lucas Krul and Felipe Blade to Pascoe Vale was severely hurting this Carlton side, but they came out firing with Stephen Gustas pulling a goal back, one of the goals of the week, an absolute perler from the youngster. And slowly but surely things started to turn around for Carlton. Shaban Rajab's delightful through ball from halfway found JP Nikolakopoulos, and he made no mistake making it 4-2. Rajab did his best to equalise from long range, but Michael Chalmers was on his game. And Carlton's prayers were answered through Nikolakopoulos, latching onto a delightful throw from Garcia. Carlton were back on level terms, but it certainly didn't last long. Ali Redzepovic restoring order back to Metropolitan. Carlton had put in too much effort to lay back and let Metropolitan get their way. Shaban Rajab, the inspirational leader, streaming forward and levelling the scores yet again with only seconds on the clock. Carlton weren't done by any means. Captain Sinead Aiden missing a golden opportunity right on the buzzer.
I don't know, like we got down, I think it was 4-1 or something at half time. So we just wanted to hold our game and try and not concede anymore and just keep counter-attacking. I think that's what we did, and it came good in the end.
Saved, Shave again. Save from Chen. Ronda Silva, lovely. Zilic not tracking his man. And De Silva runs straight through. Franjic, Joseph Franjic! What a belter! Drilled into the top corner from Joseph Franjic. That is a massive goal. Look up Campbell, another save. He has been good tonight. What a stunner! The live wire, Jose Portillo slams that one into the back of the net.
Hi, I'm Casey and you're watching the Futbol Town Show.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 13, match of the round between Fitzroy FC and the Vic Vipers FC. Second meeting of the season, the first time these two sides met, it was a 7-0 drubbing from the Vipers. Fitzroy have tremendously improved since then. Since last week, they've added Scott Rogan and Matthew Skliros to their lineup. No Fernando De Moraes or Andreas Cardenas today, while Milton Sakos is without Adam Cooper, Kieran Pates, Max Yavram and Gabriel Uchenna. Let's go down to the action. Here we go, Fitzroy taking on the Vic Vipers for the second time this season. Vipers former player Fernando De Moraes will not play, as he didn't in the first meeting either, as Ricky Castro takes all of them on. Zillis makes a save there. Andreas Cardenas, new inclusion as well, will not play today through injury. Also missing Alistair Dunlop, he's been out for about 8 weeks with a broken arm. Fitzroy still doing quite well as Barrigos now stealing from Joe Montiglione, and a good save by Zillis. Looks like he's come out fired up and ready to play, but Barrigos also looks raring to go. Futsalroos will get a full game today with no Kieran Pates, away on international duty we believe. Barrientos, here's Barrigos. Now Johnny Barrientos right over the top, Miguel Barrigos! And the Vipers open the scoring. Miguel Barrigos has looked lively early, and Johnny Barrientos' ball brought down well and put across Zillis. It's 1-0 to the Vic Vipers. And now there's a free kick to the Vipers just outside the penalty D. Could have been inside, very, very close, as Barrigos now. Tran leaves it and Barrientos wound up. This one going way wide. Plenty of space for Barrientos though. As Scott Rogan has come on, he got a hat-trick in his V-League debut for Pascoe Vale. It will be a lot harder today. As Ben Montiglione going wide. Montiglione drags it wide. As Ben Montiglione beat Barrientos very easily and just pushed it wide to the far post. Altuntas through the middle. Still 1-0 to the Vic Vipers. Ben Montiglione and now Altuntas sliding in. Hit Tran. Now Altuntas down the line. Mark Burton will have a ping. Futsalroos up to the task. Didn't have much power behind that, but made Christos make a save. As here's Tran, using the left-footed Kevin Barrientos. Ball goes right up in the air, and Ben Montiglione now plays in his brother Joe, and he forces Christos into another save. Lightning quick on the counter-attack, this Fitzroy side, as we know. Here's Barrientos now. Short to his brother Kevin. Here's Johnny, captaining the side today. He drills it wide for Castro. Poor touch. And slipping over. And now it's Joe Montiglione. And Altuntas. Fitzroy starting to get on top in this one. Altuntas going near post. Had Montiglione free at the back. Postalakis now bringing us back. Castro. Now Johnny Barrientos driving it through. Left by brother Jason. And Johnny Barrientos scores a goal from way inside his own half. I think it was a pass. Turned out very well though for the Vipers. They lead 2-0. And now Altuntas, he'll go wide. Nothing doing there as he plays Fusca. Joe Montiglione to brother Ben. He leaves Kevin behind, and Ben Montiglione hits straight back. Their leading scorer gets his 14th goal of the season. And Ben Montiglione burning Kevin Barrientos. It's 2-1 now. They trail. As it ticks down right before half-time, they won't even get time to play this ball in. And the Vipers lead 2-1. Goals from Miguel Barrigos and Johnny Barrientos, while for Fitzroy, Ben Montiglione the lone scorer. As we're back to the second half, Vipers still leading 2-1. As now they'll get counted again as Altuntas plays it wide, and Montiglione finishes where he left off. A goal either side of the break. And another lightning counter-attack leaves the Vipers stunned. Altuntas getting it through Miguel Barrigos. And Ben Montiglione gets his second. Johnny Barrientos now will fire it in, and it's come off Mark Burton. That was on target too. A lucky break for Fitzroy. Here's Zilis. Burton fighting at the back. Probably not what you want to be doing. Is now Mark Burton. Can he redeem himself? Beats Johnny Barrientos and winds up on his right foot. Altuntas not even close to the back post where he should have been. Mark Burton does really well. A let off for the Vipers. As Christos Postalakis now brings it in. Johnny Barrientos driving it through. And his brother Jason, not sure if he just left it this time, but Zilis was onto it. Spliros. Altuntas. And now Johnny Barrientos firing again. They're just targeting long-range strikes for Zilis. Although I think that was a clearance. Now Zilis again. Burton. Fusca. Joe Montiglione lost out early on. And now Montiglione beats Castro. And it's Altuntas at the back post. 3-2 and Fitzroy lead. The young lads really taking it up to this experienced Vipers outfit. Castro couldn't get it. Montiglione with a perfect ball. And Altuntas makes it 3-2. Barrigos. Now Barrientos. Hip Tran. Vipers trying to move it. Great feet there from Barrigos. Beat Ben Montiglione and Zilis. And he cracks straight back. 3-3. Very good feet. Lulled him in. Beat him with ease and fired past Zilis. There's now Fusca to bring it back into play. 3-3. Goals starting to open up as Ben Montiglione, he completes his hat-trick. 4-3 now to Fitzroy. That's his 16th goal of the season. What a season he's having. And they take the lead again. Tran. Johnny Barrientos. To his brother Jason. Vipers just starting to move around. And now Johnny from long range. Oh, and how did he get that in? Zilis couldn't lift his arms quick enough. Johnny Barrientos putting some power behind it. And it's 4-4 now. The goals starting to really flow. Barrientos again. Tran. Now it's Jason. Johnny Barrientos driving it through. Fusca getting a foot in again. And now Ben Montiglione plays in Altuntas, who slips it under Apostolakis. And it's 5-4 now to Fitzroy. And who would you believe it? Fitzroy FC look like they can take the points from the Vic Vipers here. Altuntas slipping it through his legs. Burton firing clear. And Fitzroy's crowd go nuts. This is their biggest win to date. They've beaten the Vic Vipers 5-4.
Yeah, well, very important 3 points today. You know, now result you put you into 7th place, depending on results. Do you reckon this group can stay in the flight next season?
Yeah, I definitely think so. And if we can stay next year, it can be a force to be reckoned with. So if the boys stay together and keep training hard, we can definitely get there.
Well played to you and the young boys today. You had Mark Burton, and good luck for the second half of the season.
Yeah, thanks,
well done, mate.
Through the middle and tees, saved by Blake.
Gets his second goal of the game. Maxi Avram! The dangerous left foot of Maxi Avram. Always have to know the ball is going to Avram down that line. Slovacek, Josh Slovacek! What a goal! He's put him straight back. And Brunswick draw level.
The big strike there and a great save by Digby.
My name is Kay, and you're watching the Futbol Town Show. Go Futsal!
Welcome back to the round 13 edition of the Futbol Town Show, ladies and gentlemen. We wrap up the final clashes of the night. And the next game on the card saw title aspirants Ashburton FC take on CF Brunswick, who were desperate to reclaim their place in the top 8, but a win over Ashburton would certainly solidify their place amongst the league's elite. And they got off to the start they were after, young Danny Slovacek getting the first goal. In the next run of play, a beautiful throw from keeper Brendan Chen found Cameron Holmes' head, but his effort was turned away by Con Macris, who was starting his first game in a matter of seasons. And that save paved the way for the equaliser, Nicholas Silvestri, scoring from a ridiculous angle, giving keeper Brendan Chen no chance. The start of the second half saw Matteo Rocca's long-range effort just miss the right side of the post, but he soon made up for it with a delightful free kick around keeper Chen Baisa, who in all fairness should have set up his wall a little bit better. Matteo Rocca came to destroy the Brunswick party yet again, this time from the penalty spot. Chen Baisa unable to read the giant Italian striker, who creeped into the top 5 goal scorers with that major. Some beautiful build-up play by Ashburton saw Matteo Rocca involved in yet another Ashburton goal, this time setting up little Mo Mata, who came off the bench to put Ashburton 4-1 in front. At this stage, Ashburton were in complete control, or more like it, Matteo Rocca was in complete control, linking up with Mata yet again, scoring his second goal of the game. Andrea Farina had a penalty saved by Chen Baisa, but from the resulting corner, Farina got his revenge, his strike deflecting off the shoulder of Clint McGoy and going past Baisa, who was sent the wrong way. Moments later, Farina was given a second bite at the cherry, but this time blasted over the crossbar. And with the second corner, Farina delightfully found man of the match, Matteo Rocca, who got his third of the game.
I'm here with Con Macris from Ashburton Futsal Club. Con Macris, you finally got your chance after Lorenzo De Paris, the #1 keeper at Ashburton, left, and you got your chance today, and what a great game you had and the team. 7-1, Con. What was the game going into after losing Lorenzo? What was the team talk?
Just keep solid, do what we've been doing all season. He's a big loss. He's probably the best goalkeeper in Australia. And of course, he's going to be a big loss. But we were solid today. We did the good things, and the result came our way.
The next game on the card was absolutely massive as FC Moreland, the Blues, took on Pasco LFC with a couple of new inclusions, as we already know. Lucas Krull from Carlton and Lorenzo De Paris from Ashburton. And Pasco Vale opened the scoring within 5 minutes, and it was fitting that it was Lucas Krull scoring the first goal in his new club colours. Pasco Vale always like to attack from the get-go, and that's exactly what happened. Breno Pilati scoring just after Lucas Krull, sending love there back to some family in Brazil. And the goals just kept on coming. New signing Mauricio Novak hit a ball right across to Ernie Simsek, whose deflected shot come off the keeper Emre Oko. Leading 3-0, Pasco Vale seemed to get too confident. Ernie Simsek passed a loose ball across his own defence. It fell to Yassin Sahin, giving Lorenzo De Paris no chance. But Simsek's lapse in defence wasn't going to stop Pasco Vale from continuing their goal-scoring route. Joel De Silva now getting on the score sheet. Lucas Krull turned goal scorer to provider, setting up Sofian Sufi for his first goal of the game. And at 5-1, Moreland didn't look like they were a chance at all. Rodrigo Evangelistas' deflected shot fell to Mauricio Novak, also scoring his first goal on debut for Pasco Vale. And as the first half drew to a close, Evangelista celebrated, putting his side up by a further 6 goals. The opening of the second half saw Pascoe Vale inflict more damage on the hapless Moreland as Joel De Silva pounced on the loose ball first and drilled right past Emre Alcohol, who was left rooted to his spot. Pascoe Vale, desperate to reclaim their top spot, even found some time for party tricks as Lucas Krull chipped Okal, who was having a tough time of it in goals. Free kicks weren't an issue either. Andre Caro setting up Lucas Krull scoring his third on debut, claiming the man of the match honours. There was a shining light for Moreland as Yassin Sahin got his second of the game, but there was better to come from Moreland as Osman Coe scored an absolute screamer from beyond halfway, catching keeper Ryan Timmins off his guard. And just as Moreland were going to have a little win with some good play at the end of the game, Ernie Simsek crashed the party, capping off the 11-3 result.
Have you ever seen so many kids screaming for players like that? I haven't seen that. I have not seen that since the FAFL days. You know, when we won the FAFL, I have not seen kids jumping up and down, high fives with players. I mean, that's what futsal's all about, isn't it?
The final game for round 13 saw Hume FC, who were comfortably sitting in third position on the ladder, chasing the top position, go up against FC Essendon, who was languishing in last position. Hume unsurprisingly got off to a flying start. Regular defender George Harrison with a traditional thumping left foot strike. Moe Tanki had a big strike himself from the far penalty spot, but was denied by the crossbar. Then it was Tanki, the standing captain for Rezikul Kulaglu, who sent a delightful through ball from halfway, which found Vadim Mazurski to tap into an empty net. Essendon's woes continued as they struggled to get the ball out of defence. George Harrison's strike saved by Carlos Manuz, but there was no stopping Matty Vrdovski's deft chip, which went over the Essendon keeper for 4-0. Poor decision-making out of the back by captain Alex Kobo came back to hurt his team as Vadim Mazurski scored his second of the game and put Hume into a commanding lead. George McAllis, in only his second game for Hume, set up Sachid Sisek, who was also returning from injury. Hume had really started to hit their straps. They certainly weren't done on the scoreboard for the first half, as George Harrison got his second of the game in a goal scored similar to that of Vrdovski. Trailing 6-0, Essendon were only playing for pride as they tried to stem the flow of Hume's scoreboard dominance. Vadim Mazurski wasn't going to allow that to happen, adding his third goal of the game. Yet again, it was Hume who kept on kicking away. Captain Moe Tankier getting his first of the game and rubbing more salt into the wound for the weary Essendon. By this stage in the game, Essendon had given up all hope and they just let Vadim Mazurski do as he pleased, running straight from defence to the middle of the park, right up to the D to score his fourth of the game. It really wasn't good signs for Essendon, who looked like getting relegated more and more each week. Matty Vrdovski getting his second, trying to maintain his place in the top 5 goal scorers in the league. Striker Sachin Sisek continued his impressive return to V-League action with his second goal of the game also, and Moe Tankia, who turned his defender with ease, blasted into the roof of the net to cap off an impressive game for the captain. And with minutes remaining, Essendon finally got the goal they were after, Alex Kobo drilling in Essendon's first with 1 minute to go, capping off the 13-1 result.
I honestly think we can do it because we've got the depth in the team. We've got a lot of good players. Honestly, I'm confident for the team. After a long time coming back, we're better than last season as well, as we can see. I'm happy to be in this team. I just believe Pascoe Vale and Metropolitan should be scared of us because we're coming, mate. We're going to take it this season.
Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Round 13 done and dusted. We've seen some massive moves in the transfer market. This title race really is heating up. As we take a look at this week's results, we started off with 2 draws between Brimbank, Mickleham, Metropolitan and Carlton, followed by the match of the round, a thrilling win by Fitzroy over the Vipers, while there are also wins for Ashburton, Pascoe Vale and Hume. The last 2 were absolute whoppers. As we take a look at the ladder now, Pascoe Vale are still sitting in 4th, but they are closing in on Metropolitan. They have a game in hand, played against Brunswick later this week. And we see CF Brunswick sitting marginally above that drop zone in 8th position. Carlton, Moreland, Mickleham and Essendon all in the drop zone. And the Vipers continue to struggle surprisingly. How long will it take for their fortunes to change? As we have a look at the top goal scorers, it's no surprise Adam Alasevic is leading the way on 29, followed by Metropolitan's Tomo Grigic and Alija Zepovic. Matej Vrdovski is in 4th on 20 and Mateo Rocca, the Ashburton superstar, is on 17. Taking a look at next week's clashes, the ones not to miss are Pascoe Vale and Metropolitan. That'll decide the top of the table there, followed by Mickleham and Moreland, in the relegation battles, and the Vic Vipers and Brimbank, that will determine who will claim that 5th position on the ladder. As always, ladies and gents, thanks for joining us. Let's go to Goal of the Week.